Misty has some ribbon cuttings.
Can I record audio?
Sure. You get a new recorder?
Is it recording? Yeah, I feel like an old person. When you give me technology, forget it.
You feel like an old person when you do this?
Yeah.
Do
you have the bifocals too, or like the
progressives?
That's what I have, the progressives too. It's crazy.
Hang on. Being so low, I gotta do all this. I don't know. That might have been before we talked. I don't know. We're all good. All right. Bye.
Did you need to talk to her? No. Oh, okay. She just got up and left. I just thought it was weird.
That's Amy. She's on the cleaning crew. My guess is she's waiting for Sandy or something. 10 different things going on. Some days are like this. This is why Scott isn't interested in talking. Following the policy.
This is the same media policy that's been unchanged since it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one Melissa put forward.
But I've always had meetings with department heads. And stuff, like when you and I sit down and talk, questions pop up all the time during the conversation that I might not otherwise think to ask.
Yeah.
And it's never been a problem before now.
That's the policy. Follow the policy. Nothing instigated it.
Okay.
So what do you got going today? Yes, sir. You need help in here. I do. I'm trying to find good help. I came for you anyway. I'm going to meet you right now. All right. Turns out there was shit for me anyway. So yeah, Missy had ribbon cuttings. You get the emails for those?
I do.
Okay.
Well,
some of them are kind of
this is the silly season, as you know, budgets.
Yeah.
So yesterday is a great example of I was in committee hell at the county level all day.
What did they do?
Just one meeting after another. A lot of it was background stuff. The CAFO ordinance last night, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I decided, hey, what a great thing. The city records meetings, and you've got the live stream, which is incredibly helpful for plenty of people, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just watch those as soon as I'm done with the CAFO ordinance, right?
Yeah.
I fell asleep after public protection. I fell asleep with my laptop in my lap.
It's weird you say that because I've been like that too. I'm like, I am sleeping through the night. I feel like I get a good night's sleep. And then in the afternoon, I'm just dragging. I wonder if it's because of the light.
I think so.
And the gloomy weather. You're just like, no.
And this time of year, I find it's not just me, but once it hits at 7:30, it's not just dark. It's really dark.
Yeah.
Like the night times are darker this time.
Well, we don't switch until like early November now, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it just, you're right. It feels so much later.
I had so much stuff to do around the house, for like winterizing. I picked all the peppers. They're sitting on the table, outside table.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done anything with them yet. Got the pontoon ready to put away. I asked my wife when we were pulling it out, I'm like, is it going to rain this week? She looked in the long range. No, it's only supposed to rain on Saturday. Great, we'll be fine. It's rained every day since. So that adds to the shit now that you can't put the coat away until it's dry.
But it makes for some spooky, you're getting in the mood,
Sure.
You have what's your costume going to be this year?
I don't know if I should tell you.
Are you're going to be in front of Goose again like you have in the past couple of years, handing out candy?
We haven't talked about that.
Downtown trick or treat?
We usually are, but we haven't talked about it. My daughter's gone now too, so I don't know that she's going to be participating. When is it? 25th?
25th, I think.
I know we'll be at the Central Waters Halloween party, and I know we'll be at the City Hall Halloween party.
Yep, 3 to 5 downtown trick or treat on the 25th.
And I know we'll be at the City Hall Halloween party. Nothing? figured that would have perked your ears right up.
What, the City Hall Halloween party?
Yeah. We're going to be unprofessional for a day and wear costumes.
You're being sarcastic. I'm sorry. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it.
You were the one who brought it up that we're not as professional as we used to be. We allow tiaras, and now we're going to allow ghosts and goblins and whoever else.
Well, it wouldn't be that surprising, to be honest with you.
When is it? 2 to 4?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Damn it. That's a lot.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
I don't know yet.
On the 25th.
Because we've got a friend's Halloween party.
Well, you know, your costumes, I have to say, have been pretty clever, typically.
This year, I am going as Porthos.
Oh, he was my favorite of the Three Musketeers.
The reason is, when we were in Toledo, Spain, earlier this year, the beginning of the year, we went to a sword factory, a forge, and in Toledo, Spain. It's Toledo Steel. It's like second to Damascus.
Didn't know that was still a thing. I mean,
it's still very much a thing.
It makes sense. You just not something to think about.
Yeah. So we got a little tour of the facility. We watched how they make the blanks and things like that. And I bought a rapier.
What kind is that?
That's sword. Hello, my name is Ingo Montoya.
But I don't know the names of the swords. Most people don't. It's just a regular straight blade sword.
Yes, it is not a medieval type sword. It is more of a Renaissance sword with a fancy
hand grip or shield.
Three Musketeer type sword.
Okay.
Yeah, someone said that she was.
You even got that personality, and that's why
it's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm knocking at everything. Perfect.
So yeah, I had a lot of this stuff. We have tons of costume stuff in our basement.
I bet.
From years of trivia and things like that. So I had some of it. When I bought the sword, I shipped it back. The woman says, "Oh, you can take it on the plane. That's fine." When we were in Greece, I bought a nice tin of olive oil and some olives in olive oil. Fucking TSA would not let me bring the olive oil back.
But you could bring the sword.
I could bring the olives in olive oil, but I couldn't bring the olive oil back. And it was like a $40 or $50 tin of olive oil, right, from Greece. And the son of a bitch is confiscated. And I almost got into it with him. I'm like, so I can bring these olives in olive oil back. Same tin, steel, whatever. You couldn't see in it. But I can't bring this tin of olive oil. If I opened it up and put an olive in there, could I take it? Sir, you need to calm down. I was ready to snap it because she's just like, let it go.
So you lost it.
So I lost. They stole my $40 or $50 tin of olive oil.
No opportunity to mail it back or something?
Nope.
Or...
No, and I think by then, even if there was, I kind of burnt that bridge already. I was not happy. So I wasn't going to take the chance with the sword. So I said, no, just ship it back. So they shipped it back to the house, and I actually cut my finger opening it. Right?
You cut your finger opening the package.
Yeah, so they put in a bubble wrap and take the bubble wrap and then put it in a box and ship the box. And I got it out of the box, and as I'm unpacking the bubble wrap, trying to be careful, son of a bitch, cut myself.
Sorry, that's funny.
So last week at the Shriners craft sale, there's a guy who does leather work there, and he's done custom work for me before. Like he made a Mayor Mike left-handed holster, cowboy holster, and belt. So I brought the sword in, and I said, hey, can you make a leather sheath for this? So he measured it out, and he says he'll have it ready by the end of the week, early next week. So it's then safe to use.
Will it actually say Mayor Mike on it or something?
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. Now that I think about it, maybe I should. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was to just get a leather covering, so I'm not running risk of somebody cutting themselves on it. Didn't
you have a gavel made too? What?
So
it was like it was something else though before it became it. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
That gavel with the motorcycle pistons?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was made by the guys at Wilshire Trailer.
Oh, okay.
So those are 2 motorcycle pistons and some motorcycle chain.
Yeah, you can see the chain
that they put together for me, and then the hand grip is like a handlebar tassel.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got through public protection, and like I said, I fell asleep while the meeting was still going on my laptop. If I'm understanding correctly, what was presented regarding the Aldermanic fund, that wasn't necessarily, that was just, didn't need any action on it.
It didn't get any action either.
Right, but the reason this was brought up was just to, hey, give us guidance on what you want us to do. Is that...
Sue brought it up. Being a new clerk, she saw this, and she saw that generally it's 1 or 2 people using a lion's share of the money. We've never used it all. It's always been about $1,500.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the same people using it. And then there were some questionable things, like someone wanted to use it for just a social function, a get-together. And the city attorney says, that's probably not a great idea because some people can see that as a campaign thing. But newsletters are very common, mailings, any sorts of mailings that get used, or a notice of, hey, I'm having an open house listening session. So mailings are predominantly what that miscellaneous fund is used for. And Sue just wanted to know, like, what's the oversight here, right? Does council want to set policies that you can only use it for mailings, or anything related to your district? Sam Lang brought up if someone wanted a flag, could we use that money for the flag? No, we have funds that take care of that stuff. This was in addition to the training and the travel budget, which are already allocated. And I think some people didn't understand that because they kept talking about using, when we were talking about the miscellaneous fund, a few people still talked about traveling and things like that. That's a separate line item. This is miscellaneous. It was put in because people wanted to do mailings or, some sort of communications with their constituents. So it was put in there. And I think the concept was about $500 per person for a mailing every year. Most people don't use it.
Yeah.
Last year, they talked about taking some money out of there because we never used the whole amount, taking some money out of there and divert that operationally to Aldermanic raises.
Right.
Yeah. Not a big deal because anything that doesn't get spent goes back into the general fund anyway.
These mailings that are sent out, or newsletters, whatever they want to call them, shouldn't it, like a copy of that also maybe go to the press if there's going to there's a reason. Now I'm going to pull up this media policy here. This feels like something that...
These are electeds. They get to do what they need to do.
I understand that.
They don't have to send it to the press if they don't want to. But what I will tell you is the clerk has a copy of everything that goes out as the official record keeper.
Right. But as a city employee, even as an elected, you are employed by the city. You're paid by the city.
I don't get to tell them what to do. Electeds don't get to tell other electeds what to do.
No, I understand that. Yeah. But shouldn't they also have to follow the same policy here? As employees of the city? Quasi-employees? I know there's probably legal distinctions in there, but...
This is specifically a media policy. Newsletter isn't a media
thing. But if there's
a constituent thing.
But if it's a meeting, like a neighborhood meeting, Sam Lang wants to hold a neighborhood meeting, for example, even though there isn't likely to be a quorum at a thing like that, isn't that still something that should maybe be sent to the press?
I don't disagree that if it were me, I would send it to the press. But I don't get to say, Sam Lang, you must send it to the press.
But that's kind of where I'm going. Isn't this kind of...
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
These are media inquiries. There's nothing obliging us to send things to the media.
This is kind of incomplete and vague and not very effective. And well, it's just... I don't know. It's just...
Right, this wasn't even my thing. This was Melissa's thing, if you remember.
I remember very clearly.
So I will tell you, yes, I think that they should send it to the media as a courtesy. But I don't get to say, you must send it to the media. Now, if someone on the council wants to say any newsletters must also be sent to the media and make that part of their policy, they can do that.
So here it says authorized city spokesperson, the city PIO, in his or her best judgment may designate a particular response, and department heads are under that. Why can't I just sit down with Scott Badoon to talk about, get into the weeds, if you will, on Business 51?
Because I'm not allowing that.
Why though?
I don't know. We're using the policy. When I talk about Business 51, I will answer all of your questions for you. If I can't, I'll get Scott to give me the answers.
But how can I get the information in a timely... That's like playing a game of telephone.
There are many cities that don't even let the alderpersons talk to the department heads.
Well, we're living in Stevens Point.
Stay separate.
So what other cities do is kind of irrelevant. Under this policy, Scott Badoon is allowed to speak with me.
With permission. And
why not get permission, though? Because if I'm looking for... Explain to me what the status of...
Is this what we're going to talk about all day?
Well, I think it's a relevant question, and I'd like
I'm telling you that Scott isn't talking to you about anything, and not just Scott, other ones, because we have a media policy in place that directs you and your questions to my office. If there are times when I think that a director is best suited to do this, or any other staff member, I'll do that.
But how will I even know?
This isn't about power.
But there's stuff I don't even know to ask about Business 51. Which is why saying to him, Scott, what's the status? Where are we at? What's happening next? That is what precipitates questions. During the conversation, I can see here on the map, or he explains X to me, or hey, this piece just got approved, or whatever it is. How am I supposed to be able to...
I'm going to get a little more frank with you. Scott's very busy. He doesn't have time for this stuff.
Okay.
Things are falling by the wayside, and that's not acceptable.
Okay.
If you have questions, let me know. And if there's time, then we'll get Scott involved.
Okay. What on this last side of finance? Now, I will be watching the meeting, of course.
Talking drama.
Are you being serious?
Are you quoting?
No, I won't quote you. Okay. Although I can see that the headline, that would be a great headline.
Off the record. Drama, fucking drama. Off the record. Christensen seems to have this passion to get us to use anything else for City Hall. Even though council's already approved it, we've entered into a contract.
Still on this?
He motioned to pull the $9 million out for next year. Even though Corey had said, we're already doing this, we've got the quotes, we need to do half this year, half next year to keep the tax levy kind of stable.
Right.
He went to pull it. Nobody seconded. And it sat there in discussion for several minutes without a second. That's inappropriate. He eventually got Dean Shute at a cave and got a second. And then it failed. And the end result was, with all the 40 minutes of drama and BS and discussion that Christensen was stirring the pot with, the budget passed as presented.
Argument's sake, off the record still, but just for argument's sake, let's say they had voted in favor of Christensen's motion. Then, if I'm thinking correctly, we'd have to go kind of start over from square one and
not necessarily, because we can always do a budget amendment.
Okay.
And we don't actually do the borrowing until spring of the next year. So council would still have to approve Christensen's amendment. I got to believe level heads will prevail at council at least. But on the off chance they didn't, we are obligated by contract on several of these things already. Stantec, Somerville, one other one I think, that have already been obligated.
Yeah.
You have to pay them. Okay. You voted to build a new city hall on that site. The design work will be done, and then what do? You put on a shelf and you're going to wait? Are you going to go back on what you already voted on and do some further exploration? Because I'll tell you, when that happens, the county deal's off. I just met with John and Ray this morning to make sure that we're still on the timeline for the July 27 vacancy, because they need to get their timeline started.
Right.
If any piece of that falls by the wayside, the whole deal's off and we just stay where the hell we are. Nobody gets anything.
Before I forget, has a closing date been set for 1039?
We're supposed to talk about that later.
Okay.
No.
I'll just keep asking to stick to the press.
So between you, me, and not on the record,
yeah.
Last I heard, we were waiting for Hickathier's sign off, and waiting for anything from that office is like watching paint dry.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So that's where we are. I think we're right there.
Okay. Okay.
So yes, by all means, watch the finance committee.
Yeah.
And level heads prevail, right? Even Broderick, who was kind of in his corner before, was questioning why he was bringing this up and what was the purpose. The other thing that was a kind of a point of discussion is Christensen added $75,000 more for a facility study on top of the $50 that was already approved last year that we didn't spend.
I saw that, and I was going to ask you about that. Refresh my memory, please. This facility study.
Dean wanted a facility study.
Yeah.
That's about all I can tell you.
What is a facility study?
That's a really good question.
I know there was some.
I brought that up multiple times. So
there had to have been some direction. But
in a nutshell, to the best of my knowledge, and believe me, I have belabored over this for months because I keep getting accused of not giving the council what they asked for, mostly from Andrea Olson.
But this is related to that spreadsheet you sent me, right? Yes. Okay.
So they wanted a facility study. They wanted to know the conditions of our buildings and what we expect to do. And I reminded them that we already kind of do that with our capital budget planning. It goes out 5 years.
Right.
So if I know in 4 years I'm going to need windows, I'm putting windows out 4 years on the capital budget at a ballpark price. No, we want something more comprehensive. Okay, what exactly? I mean, do you want structural engineers to come in and test the integrity of the walls and the ceiling? Because we also know that. I mean, we kind of know that, hey, this wall's going to need to be replaced or the ceiling's going to need to be replaced.
The city already has that information about its buildings?
Every director is very diligent about maintaining and knowing the condition of their buildings, specifically for the capital budget. We need to know in advance if we're going to need a new air handling unit at Station 2 in 3 years. We do this. You look at our capital budget, it's planned out 5 years and then some, but we only show 5 years. To say, okay, in 2029, we're going to need a new apparatus. We're going to need new garbage trucks. Right. We're going to need new, police cars every 3 years. We get new police cars. So we shuffle them. So we get like half or a third every year. But it's a 3-year life cycle. So I can tell you that in 2037, I can give you an idea of what we're going to need.
Right.
But the buildings are the same way. Like we did the air handling units in the police station, fire station, last year. Because we knew 2 years ahead of time that they were going. And we put them in the capital budget. Regardless, what we then did is I said, listen, rather than pay somebody to do this, because $50,000 is a lot of money. I said, rather than pay somebody to do this, why don't we get the directors to tell you what the conditions of their buildings are, what they know they need, and when they're going to need it, and space-wise and things like that. And they said, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And then we can fill in the gaps. So we gave them that. Then Christensen and Andrea also said, oh, you didn't give the council what they asked for. What the hell? Where's this facility study that you didn't spend any money on yet? What's going on? Went back and I watched the videos, and it's like, no, they said that it was okay to have the directors do this, and then they would tell us what more information they needed.
Ballpark, when did this happen?
April.
Okay. At committees?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that was at council.
Okay. I'll go back and watch.
And then later, after we gave them, again, what we thought they wanted, and after I got all the shit that, we asked for this in April, and you didn't give it to the council, and Andrea Olson and Mark Christensen, I said, okay, what do you want? I want a motion telling us what we want.
You need specific direction.
Right,
I remember you saying
direction,
that.
Yes. And I was expecting something a little simpler, but it turned out to be a paragraph anyway. And the icing on that cake was when Laura Broderick said, and I'd also like to know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that, yeah.
So what we did then is we took an inventory of every single building in the city, every single structure in the city, allocated them to the respective departments. I put a spreadsheet together that had very specific columns of what do you know is wrong with it? How many square feet? When was it built? What have you done to it recently? What do you think you need to do with it? And is there anything that could surprise us? No, what we don't know. And we did that. And that is the last thing I gave to council several months ago. Like, here is absolutely everything in every building we have. Apparently that's not good enough either.
Okay.
Because now Mark wants to add $75,000 to an already $50,000 budget, meaning $125,000 for a facility study that has not yet been defined. So what I said then is, what I'd like to do is get a subcommittee together and define the scope of work, because this is your project. Don't tell the directors you want a facility study and not give them any scope of work. I want this group, the people that are voting on this facility study, to get together and define the scope of work.
What? So you want to create a subcommittee just to define the scope of work for a facility study?
Yes.
Oh, okay. With all due respect and devil's advocate, WTF? Why can't? Hold on. Why can't you and say the city attorney and say I don't know the clerk or you and a group of other electeds who are elected at large? Why can't you define what a facility study is? It feels like you're almost going, go ahead and screw up. I don't care. It's almost like you're intentionally being super laissez-faire and letting them hang themselves with ridiculousness. Why not?
Off the record, that's a piece of it.
Okay.
On the record, we have already, as staff, provided what we think is what the council asked for facility studies.
So why even entertain?
We have provided, because they voted to do it. So we have provided on multiple occasions different variations of what we would consider a facility study. That has not met the satisfaction of the council. So I need the council then to define exactly what it is they want. Staff has spent hours and hours providing every piece of information that we have, literally every piece of information that we have on every building that the city owns. And we're told that that's not what we want.
Does there not exist within municipal government world already a definition of facility study?
No.
You mean to tell me Jared doesn't have it in any one of his gazillion magazines on urban planning is sexy?
Studies are a very broad term, right? You come home. Hey, kids, what are you doing? Studying. What are they studying? A facility study could mean everything from what does the future of City Hall look like? Where will we be in 100 years? How much space will we need in 100 years? Where will we build in 100 years? Or it could mean, when's the roof going to leak?
In your long-term plans for facilities.
Mm-hmm.
You only show 5 years, but you plan much longer in the future for that. For the capital or any other.
Our downtown target area master plan has the civic campus outlined.
But don't you, within your capital or any other plan that you have for the city-owned facilities, doesn't there exist something that in 20 years we'll probably need to do X?
Yep.
Or in 20 years we'll need a new room for this?
Yep.
So doesn't that already exist?
I would argue that many things exist, but I don't know what council specifically wants. It's clearly something that doesn't exist. Because they have access, they have approved our comprehensive plan. They have approved our targeted area master plans. They have approved every facilities piece that we have. They see every year the 5-year projections for capital. They now have every single structure that the city owns, the year it was built, the square footage it is, and the current condition, as well as any recent repairs or anticipated repairs for every single facility that the city owns.
And that's not good enough, if that's what they're saying.
They're saying that is not what we want.
That information that's in that spreadsheet, the one that you sent me, that's just stuff that was done by the city, correct? That wasn't a third party.
Right. Okay. We didn't want to spend the money until we needed to, right? Because we don't know what the council wants.
It would be great if we could have you and Mark Christensen in here at this, and I could question you both together and say, what the hell? Because it's easy for you to say one thing, and when I talk to Mark Christensen, he'll tell me something completely different. So there's how do you
rate it? Talk to Mark Christensen.
He does answer his phone now.
The funny thing is, he doesn't talk to me.
So
he has missed every single weekly meeting that we had scheduled for months now.
Even since last time I talked to you, he hasn't been in here since?
Nope. The last I heard from him is, I'll let you know when I'll start again.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I would love to do that. But in light of that, having a subcommittee define the scope of work that they want is the best way to get them an end product of what they want.
But isn't that, I don't know, it feels like that could have potential to give you something you don't want to hear. Or, no, that's not the right way to, they're going to ask for more than what they're going to open up a whole Pandora's box of crazy. I mean,
maybe, but I mean, I am at a wit's end trying to meet their expectations on this facility study.
Okay.
We have provided literally every facility the city owns, the year it was built, the square footage, repairs that have been done, repairs that anticipate being done. Mm-hmm. And I'm told that's not enough. So what I need then is direction. And this isn't meant to be snotty. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what you want. Define what you want, and then we will put it out to bid.
Haven't you asked him that, though, in meetings?
Yes.
And I don't remember him ever really giving a clear answer.
And you remember correctly.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, it's not the end of the world. Mm. Right? If I'm not understanding what they want, that's okay. Mm. If the rest of staff isn't understanding what they want, that's okay. Tell us in very specific terms what you want. Define the scope of work, and then we will do all the legwork, putting it out to bid and getting you the information you want. And if it costs $20,000 or $125,000, we'll get it done because that's their money. They feel they need it, whatever that is, and we'll provide it. We're not trying to hide anything here.
Sure.
But I also am not a mind reader, and I tell this to my wife all the time. Well,
that goes over
generally couples have that issue, right? Yeah. You expect me to know what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You need to tell me, look me in the eye and say, wash the fucking dishes.
Right.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that. When you say, so tired and my feet hurt, that to me does not translate, do the dishes. To me, that translates...
It does to me. What the hell's the matter with you?
To me, that translates to, you want me to get you something for your feet?
Okay. The last thing I wanted to ask you about was the zoning rewrite. Plan Commission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get their first look at it next week.
Is it next week? Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Sure.
So have you seen any of the results? Or what are your thoughts? Any surprises?
No, I think what we're doing... So, our zoning code has been... When was the last time it was rewritten? In the 70s?
Yeah, 50 years. So I know it's not the sexiest.
And since then, we have been piecemealing all of these things. Mm. And we frequently find... We change one piece, but it's also referenced in another piece, and we find it 2 months later. And the theory was just, let's rewrite the whole thing because philosophies have changed.
Right.
So I want to see things like reduced lot size, minimum lot size. We're not in the same place we were 50 years ago.
Right. And the makeups are different.
Yeah, and I'd like to see our neighborhood integrity protected a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Right now, the biggest challenge is short-term rentals and affordability, which are going hand in hand. Mm-hmm. People will buy a unit, rent it out on weekends, and make the mortgage payment. Yeah. Whereas as a rental, you'd rent it out monthly, and you're $600 a month per person or whatever. That would cover it. Well, no, you don't have to. You don't need all the headaches. The other thing that's happened, and we can't control this either, we've gotten lots of complaints. Landlords have really tightened the belt on requirements.
What do you mean by requirements?
You not only have to, if you got any evictions, you're generally not even considered.
Standards.
You got a pet, not considered. And I'm saying this kind of generically. It's not everybody, but a majority of them won't rent to people who have had an eviction. You must not only be employed, but you must be able to show that you have 3 months worth of rents in savings. I don't know that my savings will show that. So all of these restrictions are making it harder and harder and harder for people who may have had a bad stretch and now have come around to find a place. I just saw one on social media where it appears to be a single parent, mother, daughter, son or daughter, I don't know, but they're living with their father and some young kids. The father gave them an eviction notice. I don't know what's going on there, but now this person and their kids are going to be homeless because they have they work, but they don't have any savings. Apparently they had some bad credit issues, and they can't find anybody to rent to them because of these credit scores and even past evictions and things like that. That becomes very challenging to try and find any kind of housing, let alone affordable. And then you get some what I will call predator landlords who say, okay, yeah, you got an eviction. Well, that's going to put more risk on me. I will rent to you, but it's a higher rent because I'm risking more now, which takes the affordability factor out. So anything we can do to reasonably make housing more available. I thought it was great when we lowered the minimum lot size a while ago. We put 8 spots back up for construction. 2 of them are already being built. One's done on 2nd Street. So people are using them.
So a mother-in-law cottage? Talking about
smaller houses. It's not even a mother-in-law cottage.
Oh, no.
So what happened was, what was the minimum lot size was like 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
And we reduced it to 800, which was the federal guideline. That put these vacant lots that were smaller, 800 square feet. I remember.
It was right around the same time we talked about mother-in-law stuff.
So. So yeah, that works. And we do have someone else who's just putting up a mother-in-law cottage accessory dwelling unit.
Mother-in-law cottage just sounds more human.
Yeah, it sounds weird. Anyway, so things like that. Reduce setbacks.
Yep.
I mean, in my neighborhood, which is arguably an older neighborhood, I bet the rain from my garage falls on the neighbor's property. That's how close it is. It's a 50-foot by 100-foot lot.
Yeah.
So your neighbors are close. I like that. I think most of my neighbors like that. But it's not for everybody. Some people want it spread out, and maybe they don't get along with their neighbors or things like that. But there are people that want it. So saying that a 20-foot setback is applicable across all units doesn't make sense.
Right.
We have changes with the traditional neighborhood overlay district. But
so the zoning was...
rather than an exception, let's just make it a rule.
Right.
Chickens is a good example. Not relevant to zoning, but we used to get every chicken request was a conditional use.
45-minute discussion
every time. And it ended the same.
Yep.
They all ended the same. Okay, no roosters and blah, 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 and then we're okay. Well, let's just make this a law and get all this shit off of our plate.
Right.
If everybody's okay with it, you're good up to this point. You want to exceed that, now it's a conditional use. But we're okay with this. If you can live with that, you're good to go. That's what we're trying to do with zoning, right? Rather than having all these conditional uses or variances and things like that for things that seem logical anyway. Let's just put it in the zoning code and deal with the real stuff that we have to.
Okay.
So I expect that when we're done, we will have something that is a little more resident and contractor friendly, while still keeping the integrity of those neighborhoods.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay.